Alrighty, welcome everybody. It is Tuesday night and we are ready to do some stamping. Now, fair warning, it is extremely windy here, so hopefully we will not lose our internet connection. Sometimes when it blows this hard, we do lose our internet connection, so bear with me on that. So tonight I am going to bring one of our new stamps, yay, because I hope all of you realize today's the day that you can order from the new catalog. So I hope everybody has their wish list going, and that if you haven't gotten your order in yet, that you will soon. Please check out my this page. I put a post in here about the really great joining special that is going on now. So if you join, it's $99 to join Stampin' Up. I'd love you to be part of my team. And then you also get a lot of the new in colors along with it. You get the stamp pads and some cardstock and some grid paper, and I can't remember the whole list, but it's like $66 worth of stuff. So instead of the normal $99 and you get $125 worth of stuff, it's $99 and you get the $125, and then you get the extra $66 worth of the in color products. So pretty exciting. Anyway, I am going to put up some housekeeping, but I have not set up my hostess code for May, but I will get that set up. So if you guys do plan on placing an order with me and you need that hostess code, just reach out to the email that you see on here. So you'll see it still says April hostess code. I'm running a little behind this month because I was up getting my order in. So you can order through me at juliebrown.stampinup.net. You can email me at juliescreativestampin@gmail.com. So if you guys, if you don't have a demonstrator and you'd like a catalog, please email me and I'd be happy to send you one of our brand new catalogs. You can also check me out on Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram at Julie's Creative Stamping. And then my YouTube channel, you have to actually type in Julie Brown and then Julie's Creative Stamping. And then always make sure you check out my blog at stampinjuliebrown.blogspot.com. That is where sometimes I demonstrate cards. Sometimes I show you cards that I don't demonstrate, but all of them, the step-by-step instructions will be on my blog at some point. So always make sure that you check that out. Again, ignore that hostess code because I do not have May set up. But if you do want to place an order with me and you need the hostess code, just reach out to me at that email. So that is done. Okay, also, if you are new to my Facebook page, thank you. Welcome. I'm so glad you're with me tonight. You can type in the comments, let me know you're here, and then you can also type in the comments with any questions that you might have. So tonight we are going to be working with a suite that is out of the mini catalog, and it is the Artfully Composed Suite. It's this one right here. But I am bringing in one of the new stamp sets from the new catalog because I just thought it would look adorable with this suite, and it does. But I'm going to make two. I'm going to try to go fast, and that's why I'm talking so fast tonight, because I am going to try to get 2 cards in tonight. And again, just if you guys see this and I go down completely, please know that I will do another live recording I will just start it over from scratch and do it all over again if that should happen. But let's get going, and first let's look at this beautiful Artfully Composed Suite. So let me get this switched, and then I'm going to just take this off. So this suite has beautiful designer series paper. It has this stamp set and the dies that match, and then it has these really fun faux sea glass. Aren't those cool? It comes with this frayed ribbon, which you can actually use your Stampin' blends on and make it whatever color you like. So that's always a big plus, right? And then it has, and I'm going to go through and show you the paper, but it also comes with these 12 by 12 sheets, and these are vellum. And so let me pull these out so you can see them because they're pretty cool. And I made a card with these. I'm not making one in the demo tonight, but I did make one with these. Oh, I'm tearing that. I was trying to get it out without tearing it, but I'm not. Oh my gosh, come on. Well, it does not want to come out. So it has all of these really fun, and again, it's vellum. And it basically has like writing on it and maps on it. And I'm going to show you a card that I did make with this sheet right here that's got really, I don't know if you guys can see the writing on that, but it's just really cool vellum. And like I said, I made a card with this, and I'll show it to you later. I won't show you how I made it, but it will be on my blog later on how I got through that. So let's look at the paper really quick, and then we will get started with making cards. All right, so I just wanted to show you, this paper is absolutely beautiful. So let me just do front and back really quick for you. So this is like a black dots, and then this is the other side. So that's those two. And then this is just a really pretty stripe pattern. And then it's this side on the other side. And then this is, I don't know how to explain this, but it's got the little dots. It's a really cool looking paper. And then this is the other side of that one. And then we have a Calypso coral that's kind of distressed. And then other side of that one. And this is almost looks like an evening evergreen. And I know it probably looks black, but it's not. It's a green. And then this is the other side of that one. And this one is really pretty. It's got really subtle writing on it. I don't know if you guys can see that. Really pretty. And then this is the other side to that. So, really pretty paper. And as you guys know, anytime we have designer series paper, it's like a breeze to make cards to go with that. So I'm trying to decide if I want to show you the Wild and Sweet card first. I wish there was some of you on here so I could ask which one you want to see first. The Wild and Sweet card first, or the, I think we'll go with just the one that goes along with the Sweet. So we'll do, because we have a lot of cutting to do on that one. So I'm going to bring in my pieces here, just kind of over here close to me. So the first thing that we're going to do is, unfortunately, I couldn't use the ribbon that came with this suite because it was a little bit thicker than what I needed, because I need a really small ribbon for this card. But this is kind of what I'm going to show you here is the same concept of what you would do with that other ribbon. So you're just going to take your blend, and this is Calypso Coral, and you just color it. And what's nice about the blends, because they are alcohol based, they dry really quick. And so even though I'm doing this at the beginning of my card so that it can dry, I could just do this and put it straight on the card. It just needs maybe like a couple of seconds to dry. But since I'm doing some other things tonight, I thought I would do that first and get that out of the way. Okay, so I have pre-stamped and colored in. This is one of the stamps from that stamp set. Isn't that a pretty leaf? I just love it. And I just used the Calypso Coral blends, light and dark, to color in this leaf. And we'll be cutting this out in just a second. So I'm going to bring my die cut machine in because there's a lot of cutting to do on this one. And I didn't do it ahead of time for once. And I'm going to kind of set this actually to the side over here. And hopefully you guys can see that enough and see the cutting. But I kind of want to show you what I'm doing. So this is that really pretty paper. And so I'm actually going to just be cutting some of these out. Now the die, it's really interesting. So this die, let me find it, sorry. So this die does not fit this exactly. You have to kind of, finagle it a little bit. But it works just right. But you will have some of that wording showing on the outside, which for me is fine. I like that. So, hey, Patty, so glad you're here tonight. I was telling everybody, so just so you know, I've got really bad winds tonight. So if everything slows down and doesn't work and zaps out, I will re-record and post this later. All right, so I'm just going to prep all of this ahead of time. I wish I had two of these dies because that would make this so much easier. And then I want to cut out this flower here. So this die will cut out this flower, and this die will cut out all of these leaves. So we're just going to get these two. And so you're going to have to watch me run things through a couple of times, and I apologize. But I just kind of wanted you to see how I prep and, you know, get these set up so that we can cut them out. All right. And I've cut this in a 6-inch strip, again, so that it will fit into the machine. All right, so we're going to run that first section through. This card actually goes together pretty quick. Sorry, let me move this paper. I've got kind of stuff over there where this comes out, so. Patty, you have snow in Wyoming? Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Wow. I'm going to quit complaining about the wind. No, I'm not. I really hate the wind. I never used to have allergies, and I have allergies now, and the wind just tears me up when it's windy. My allergies just go crazy. So I do not appreciate the wind. My puppies have been loving it. They were outside going crazy. I actually had to put them in their kennels because they were running laps around me down here, and I was afraid they would knock into me while I was trying to do this tonight. So, crazy puppies. I have stories. I could write a book about these dang puppies, everything that they have gotten into. I have one that is I've never had a dog that has gotten stuff off of my shelf before or my counter. And one of these puppies, it's not even food. He just, whatever is on my counter, he will just pull off and chew to shreds. Hey, Mel, so glad you're here. So yeah, so this puppy, he is a counter scrounger, and I can't believe the stuff. Like, he got one of my covers to my knives, a plastic cover, and got it off the shelf. And he's pretty tricky because he did it while between the time that Wes was walking in and out grilling last night. And so he's pretty stealthy at it too. And he got this and just destroyed it. And literally he probably had it for maybe 5 minutes and he destroyed it. And it's just crazy the stuff that he has taken off the shelf. And he hadn't gotten into any of the food until the other day, and he finally found some food on the shelf. So yeah, so I've got to go back to my training 101 and get this dang puppy to quit just destroying my house, basically, because he's a menace right now. A complete and total menace. Okay. So I'm working with so for those of you that are just coming in, I am working with the Artfully Composed Suite, which is in the mini catalog. But I'm going to, this first card, I'm using just the suite. But the next card, I am actually going to be bringing in the Wild and Sweet, one of the new stamp sets, which I am in love with. And so I just wanted you guys to know this is what I'm working with right now. And then I will bring in, for the second card that I'm going to do tonight, I'll bring in the Wild and Sweet. But I just needed to get all this stuff cut, because once we have it cut, then this card goes together like zippity zippity. Don't you like those zippity cards? It's like zippity zippity cards. All right. So I'm just getting, this was one that if you came in late, this is one that I stamped and colored with blends. The other ones you saw me cut those out of the designer series paper. And then this has this really cool long border. And so I'm just going to, whoops, I've got it on the top plate there. I am just going to line this up with the edge here. Like so. So I'm just trying to get these tips right on the edge. Oh, okay. So Lisa Curcio, Mel, introduced me to this. This is called Post-it, and it's labeling and cover-up tape. So it works for masking, and it works for this. And so Lisa Curcio turned me on to that, and you can get it from Amazon. But I really like it because it's not quite as sticky as some of the washi tape. You guys know in the past I've always used washi tape, but it's not quite as sticky as the washi tape, which is nice because then it sometimes doesn't stick, you know, to the paper, where the washi tape sometimes would stick and tear the paper. And so, yeah, I would definitely get some of this because I use it. And I think I used it not too long ago in a masking. I don't know. I can't remember if I did the video with that one or if I did that for my class. So isn't that a pretty little border? It's got the stitching. So pretty. Okay, we're going to do that one more time. Like I said, I didn't get this prepped. I had a thing at my church today, and so I was over there for several hours this morning, and so I was a little behind in, you know, it's one of those things where you're like, oh yeah, I can show up because I'll prep all of my stuff ahead of time. Well, of course, my grandchildren told me at the last minute, last week, when I was, hey Connie, so glad you're here. So my grandkids last week, you know, dropped the whole bomb. Oh, Grandma, I have a baseball game. Oh, Grandma, I have a showcase for my theater class. Oh, Grandma, I have an orchestra concert. So all of the time that I had planned to prep for tonight just kind of got blown out of the water. And so I'm not as prepared as I should be. So that's why I'm having to cut a lot of this out. Okay. Dun, da, da. Okay, so again, for those of you just coming in, I am using the Artfully Composed Suite, which is in the mini catalog, but I am using a new stamp set tonight. So don't get discouraged that you think I'm not using something new, because I am. But it's just a stamp set, not a suite. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to bring in, this is part of that designer series paper, and I'm just going to attach this to the back, and I'm just going to put it so that it matches right up with that stitched line so that we can still see that stitched line. So I'm just going to bring in my Stampin' Seal Plus, which this one is my favorite of the Stampin' Seals. But you do have to, you know, all of these kind of have a learning curve. You know, I don't think it matters what kind of tape runner that you use. I think they all have a learning curve with them. But I just really like this because it does hold really good. I have had some in the past that I have bought. I'm not going to name the brand. It's not Stampin' Up! That I have bought, and then I'll make my cards and then I'll go back and even just a couple months later and it's completely coming apart. So I'm not a fan of that when that happens, but this Stampin' Seal Plus, that does not happen. Okay, what am I doing? I'm asking you guys. Do you guys know what I'm doing? Okay, so we're going to bring in our card base, which is Thick Whisper White. And I do use the thick, so I use either so when I'm using Very Vanilla and white, I always use the thick for my card bases, just because it holds up better. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring this in and we're just going to center this like so. And so I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to place my Stampin' Seal right here. And I'm not going to put any in the middle because this is raised up a little bit, so it's really not going to touch. So no sense in putting any there. So now the question is, dun da da, will I get this centered tonight? That's always the question. It's funny when you're working on your own desk, and you can like completely bend over and not worry about getting your head in the camera. So it's a lot, it's pretty funny, the difference when you're trying not to get your head in the camera, what can happen. Okay, so I think I've got that pretty well centered, but it is a little bit long here, so I'm going to bring in my paper snips, and we are just going to cut that off up there. Okay, but didn't that make a pretty border? Look at that border. It just made such a pretty border. And I don't know if you can see I left where you could see the stitching. All right, so there's that so far. And so now I'm just going to kind of build my card front. So I'm going to bring in these pieces like so. And I'm going to bring in some liquid glue, another one of my favorites. And we're just going to start kind of laying this out. So I want this one so that you can see it up here. And then I'm going to take this one, and oh, I wanted 2 blacks and I did, oh well, we're going to have 2 of this color. I wanted a black one down here as well, but it's okay because it's mainly covered up. So, you know, that's what happens when I start talking. I forget what I'm doing, right? All right, and then that's just going to layer like so. And then this one is going to come off the other way. So I've got 3 of these leaves. And again, I cut these out of that designer series paper that goes along with this suite. And if I could remember the name of it, I would tell you the name of it. It is, oh my gosh, I'm such a goober. Oh, Artfully Composed. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to take this one that I colored with the Calypso Coral, and again, we're just going to use this ink. And I want you guys to stay tuned till the end because I'm going to show you some other cards that I made with this. I'm going to do one more card that I'm going to bring in that new stamp set, but then I'm going to show you some other cards that I made with this suite that are really cool. I think they're cool, but hey. Okay, so then I am going to pop this one up. So let's bring in my take your pick tool. It's like my all-time, like right hand. This is my right hand man. I call my take my pick tool is my right hand man. I mean, seriously, it's like I love this thing, and that's probably plenty. And remember, you guys can be as liberal as you want with your, hey Janet, with your dimensionals. You can be as liberal as you want with them. So this, I kind of want this to cover that stem from this one. And then we're going to bring in, remember that ribbon? This was white and I colored it with the blends. So we're going to, and I'm going to show you once more how to tie. I know a lot of you keep saying you forget how to use this thing, right? So you lay it on the front, and I'm going to be using these 2 small ones here, okay? Because I'm making a small bow. So I lay this here, and I come around those 2 legs. If I was making a big one, I'd be coming all the way around the bottom, but I'm just making a small one. So I come from behind, and I come up right here through this piece. Then I am going to stick this through the top, like so, and then I wrap it down and around the back and bring it to the front, and then I'm going to grab this other leg over here, and we're going to tie the knot. Ta-da! And now we have a beautiful bow. And so this little bow, actually I'm going to put this other piece on first if I can find it. So I did this earlier. So I did this, I embossed this with the embossing powder. And so this was the white embossing powder, and then of course heated it up. And so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to use some dimensionals, and we're going to stick that on the front with dimensionals. And see how easy this card is going together with, you know, once you get those, it didn't even take me that long to cut those pieces out. And I just colored one flower. The rest came from that really pretty designer series paper. And so I want this to kind of be right up to the bottom of that limb. And I'm going to see if I can, again, get this straight. Oh, wow. I think I actually laid that down straight. Does that look straight to you guys? Okay, and then I am going to bring in a mini glue dot. Dun-da-da. And we're going to stick that right there. Now, you'll just watch me. I'm going to fold it in half. And the reason I'm folding it in half is because this is a really tiny ribbon. And it doesn't have like a big section in the middle to like cover that glue dot. Alrighty. So I'm just going to keep kind of pushing that down to make this center bigger, and then see how it covered that glue dot just fine. All right, and then you're just going to trim this to the length that you like. And I usually try to trim it so that it's not covering the sentiment that I've put on here. And then I'm going to come back to the front in just a second. We are going to finish the inside. I've got extra parts and pieces here, so I'm not sure what I have. I'm measuring. So for the inside, we are going to use this really fun sentiment that comes with this that says "Sending all the hugs." And we're going to do this in black memento ink. And I'm going to Susie-fy it. I call it Susie-fying. Because she has kind of taught me a new thing that I'm liking, and that is to stamp your sentiment clear up here at the top. And then that way it gives you more room to write. Now, if you're not a writer and you just want to sign your name, then you would want to move that down, right? All right. So I had one of these that I actually went upstairs and washed and got ready for this, and I believe I've left it upstairs. So I'm going to bring in this piece of paper again because I'm going to be stamping off this edge down here. Now I am using some Just Jade, which I know is no longer a color that we have. It was one of our in colors that just went out, but I'm a rebel that way. But this designer series paper coordinates with Just Jade. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and use Just Jade. But just so you guys know, this designer series paper also looks really good with mint macaron, soft succulent, and evening evergreen. So we still have some greens that look really good with this, even though it was designed to go with the Just Jade. But again, you know, luckily I've still got my in colors and I can still use them, the ones that just went out. But I did do a boo-boo and I forgot to get some of the cardstock. So from now on, when I work with this set, I'll be using evening evergreen and soft succulent. So I'm just going to take this now. Oh my gosh, I'm getting stuff. I don't even know where that's coming from. And let's move this out of the way. And now we're just going to put some Stampin' Seal Plus on the back of this. And I am matting this onto a piece of Just Jade. And again, this would soft succulent, mint macaron, evening evergreen would look just as good. Okay. And then I'm going to put this. Now you guys know that even though it's a thick whisper white, I don't like just stamping in here. So I always try to mat it. Now, once in a while, I will just kind of, whether I'm in a hurry or for whatever reason, I will design a card where I do not do that. But normally I try to always mat it. And I've got something on here and I don't know where this is coming from. Okay, and then the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to take these faux sea glass shapes, and we're going to work with these colors down here. And I'm just going to pick up 3 of these, maybe. And I think I want like a little one. And we're just going to put those in that top little corner up there. So what do you guys think? So pretty simple card. It went together pretty quick. And I love the border that I was able to put on there. And then of course, you know, designer series paper, and voila, your card is done. So it says, happiest birthday wishes, sending all the hugs. Ta-da! I just realized I'm using the same sentiments, but kind of backwards. Okay, so are we ready for the next card? And remember, hold till the end, because I do have other cards to show you. Okay. I'm so excited for this one. I'm like, wow. Okay, so the next, this is what we're working with. Guys, I am in love with this stamp set. Look how beautiful these animals are. So pretty, and they look so real. I love them. So I'm going to show you how to make a card and with this stamp set, because I love it. So you guys are going to have to deal with me loving this. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to bring in a piece of Whisper White, and I'm working with the koala because, you know, I have family that lives in Australia. So koala it is. And this fits best on the E block. So we're going to ink this up with black Memento ink. We're going to be doing some blending with the blending brushes and really making this look cool. At least I think it looks cool. I hope you guys like it as well. So we are just going to stamp this kind of right in the middle. Like so. Look how beautifully that stamps. Isn't it pretty? I just love it. I'm so in love with this stamp set. I know I get a little crazy sometimes, but you know, when you like something, you like something. And I can't wait to work with the raccoon and the panda bear in the tree. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now I'm going to use this same block, and I'm going to bring in the leaf from the Artfully Layered stamp set. And we are going to bring in some mint macaron. I know, wow, isn't it beautiful? It's so pretty. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink this up, and then I am just going to come in and get as close as I can to my koala and bring those leaves in. So see, I'm just bringing those leaves in. Yeah, you're right, Janet. I do like it all. But this set, this stamp set, oh my gosh. Yeah, this is definitely my jam. Well, because, you know, again, I am a National Geographic freak. I love anything National Geographic. That's why I was so excited when you went to Africa, Janet. I was like, oh my gosh. So exciting. Because it's on my bucket list as well. So I love nature. I love animals. Yeah, all of that good stuff. So we're just going to bring it in there, and then we'll bring in like right there. Okay, so that's what it looks like so far. So it's kind of looking like, you know, he's up in his eucalyptus tree getting ready to eat. And then let me just clean this stamp set. So this card is actually going to go together pretty quick after I get this part done. So I am going to bring in one of my blending brushes. And I have like one for my greens, one for my blues. You can tell this one's for my greens. And we are just going to come in and always start off your page. And I am just going to come in and we are just going to add some mint macaron into this. And this just kind of makes it feel like you're in the jungle, but you're not having to like stamp it so heavily that it takes away from the koala. That's what blending does, is it helps you like create that image that you're looking for. So yeah, so we're just going to bring this in. Bring this in this way. And I always just kind of go in a circular motion. And I'm not looking to get this, like, there's some areas that are going to be darker, which I'm okay with. I'm just trying to kind of get all of that white not so stark, except for where the koala is. Okay? So, dun dun dun. What do you guys think so far? Are you liking it? So see how you can take like stamp sets and that you don't normally think would go together, and you can put them together. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my stitched rectangle dies, and we are going to cut this little guy out. If I can remember, I think it's that size. Okay, I put little labels on mine so I know the sizes of them. And so I can't remember if I label them from smallest to largest. I'm probably not, yeah, so the smallest is 1. And that way, it's easy for me when I'm doing directions for people, especially if they're using my dies. They know exactly which die to use. So it's just kind of a good thing to do. Okay, so we're just going to bring this in. Sorry, it made my camera shake. It's like Bigfoot or Jurassic Park T-Rex, right? Did you see the shake? All right. So again, I'm just going to bring in that Post-it note stuff. Now I will say this about these Post-it notes. They don't, you don't get I don't think you get quite as many uses out of these as you do washi tape, because it's not quite as sticky. Yeah, they lose it loses its stick a lot quicker than washi tape, but it's really convenient and I like it, so I use it. Oh. Okay, so we're just gonna pull this off carefully, especially if it picks up any ink, then it kind of, and then even look at this, if I had done that a little bit straighter, wouldn't that make a pretty border for something? How pretty is that? But it's uneven, so I'm not going to. But so for those of you, if you remake this card, be careful. And if you get it perfectly centered, then you would have a beautiful little frame to use. All right. Okay, so let's bring in what we're going to do with this one. All right, so for this one, this is part of that designer series paper, and I know it looks, I hope it doesn't look as black, but it really is like a really dark, I don't even know, I don't know if it's the evening, yeah, I guess it is, here, let me see. I'm going to say evening evergreen. It is evening evergreen. So, and again, Just Jade, so I'm still using Just Jade, because I can. But you could have put mint macaron, soft succulent, just, you know, you would want a lighter shade of green behind this darker green. So I'm just matting this one. And then remember that border that I did on that first card? Oh gosh, I got that not straight. Drives me crazy when I do that. Okay, there we go. So this time when I cut this, I cut one side and then I laid that die like right beside it to create a double-sided border. Cool. And by the way, this layout, not with the koala, But this layout came from Mary Deathridge. I saw this layout and I thought, oh, that's a really cute layout. But I didn't like some of the stuff she had on the front of it because I was trying to find something to do with the koala. But her card is actually really pretty. And she uses, where I'm putting the koalas, she uses the leaves like I did on the first one. So it is really pretty. I just was trying to find kind of a layout that would go with this koala. And her layout worked perfect for this. So we're going to do this across like so. And I used liquid glue. I don't know if I had that in the camera. And then we're just going to turn this over and snip this. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this on the card front and then build our little scene on the card front. I just wanted to put this piece on first so that I could turn and cut it. And so I am using a Calypso Coral card base. I don't use Calypso Coral card bases that much, so this is kind of a out of the box thing for me. Whoopsie. So I'm just, again, just applying some Stampin' Seal Plus. And then we're just going to put this on our card front. Again, trying to get it positioned correctly. Ta-da! Okay. Then what we're going to do is I use the dies that come with the Artfully. It's these dies. I think I had them right at the beginning. But there's tons of dies in this set. There's this, so I used the detailed dies this time for that. Last time I used the big flower to cut out that big flower. And I should have, let me say it again, should have put some the adhesive strips on the back, but I didn't because, yeah, because I don't always think things through all the way. But it's kind of neat. So using the adhesive strips are really fun and good, but sometimes I like some of the pieces not to be completely glued down because it just gives it some more texture. And so when you do what I just did, there's going to be parts of it that glue down, and then I don't know if you can see, and then parts of it that kind of stay up. And so that's why I kind of like using just the liquid glue sometimes. Again, this is the little bottle that Lisa Curcio told me about. And I just take this glue and I put it in here. But it gives me a thinner tip to work with. So Lisa Curcio's been doing this for eons. And she's got a lot of really fun tips. Things that she has found over the years that work really good. Okay, so then I'm just going to take this one and I'm just going to layer it so it doesn't go off the page, but it's just going to layer up there like so. And again, because I don't have glue everywhere, and when you are putting little dots like I do, so you do want to take a little time to kind of hold it down. Okay, then we're going to take this last little die, like this one here. And now I can kind of draw lines because it's got a little more space to do so. Whoopsie. But again, you'll see I'm not going all the way to the edges. I don't always use like a ton of glue. And then we're going to stick this one so that it's all the way to the, like almost off the card, but all the way up to the top. Whoops. My hand had glue on it and it grabbed a hold of that. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with dimensionals with my little koala. I'm so in love with him. I love him. It's like, oh, what is that? Finding Nemo. You are my squishy. And I love you. So yes, I am in love with this stamp set. That was like one of the first things that I marked when I got to see the catalog. I was like zipping through it and I was like, oh, like it, ooh, like it, ooh, like it. And I got to that page and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in love with it. So yeah, it was a big deal for me. All right, so then we're going to take our little koala and we're going to position him over on this left side like so. And then I need another piece of white. Let me see if I can find a small enough piece. Okay, I'm just going to be cutting it out of a big piece because I had a little piece sitting here somewhere and now I can't find it. So we're going with this. So I'm going to die cut out. Now this time I'm not using a detailed one. I am using the, I call this like the solid one. And so we're just going to cut one of these out. Let's pull that through. Let's get that off of there, and I'll just put all this out of the way. Alrighty, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to bring in the Sending All the Hugs, and I'm going to bring in Calypso Coral ink, and we are going to stamp the saying right onto this white leaf. If I can do this correctly. Let's see. Trying to remember which angle I had to do this at. I think it's right there. Yay! I always get excited when it stamps right. Oh, I think we all do, right? All right, and then I am going to come in with the mint macaron in just a second. Give me one hot second. And then it also has these really fun little leaves. That's one of the stamp sets in the Artfully Composed Suite. And it's actually Artfully Layer Bundle is the stamp set and the dies. But then the suite includes the paper. And so I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to kind of put a couple of these leaves just kind of around. I think I want to try to get one right there. Okay. And then I'm also going to come in. Let me clean that off. I'm also going to come in with a sponge dauber. Maybe. And we're just going to go around all of these edges with the mint macaron. And I'm going to try to be careful to not get my hand in the stamp pad because I have a bad habit of doing that. And then I see how I hold it with my thumb. It's always my thumb that gets in the ink. And then I touch like what I'm doing. And then I have ink everywhere. All right. So see how when you sponge around the edges, it just, let me show you. It just helps things to kind of pop a little bit. So, and guess what? There's a lady on here that taught me that. Mel taught me that. I used to take scrapbooking classes from Mel, and she chalked everything. And so I never used to chalk anything. And then I got in her class, and she's like a ninja chalker. She chalks everything, but it absolutely does look good. So are you proud of me, Mel? Look what I've learned, right? You're the one who taught me the validity of chalking. So then we're going to take this, and so because this side is laid kind of off, we want to put some dimensionals behind there. And I always, again, do these little dry runs so I can kind of see like where I need my dimensionals and where I need my liquid glue. So that just kind of helps me when I just lay it down like that. Oh, I'm so glad you're proud of me, right? It was like, What do you mean chalk? But I will have to say I've got some beautiful scrapbook pages today because of Mel teaching me that wonderful technique. All right, so for the inside of this card, we are just going to do a little white piece, if I can find what I've done with. Oh my goodness. It's like I had all these pieces sitting here, but luckily I always keep white pieces ready. And so we're just going to take this little stamp, this little leaf stamp that we put around that leaf on the front. And we're just going to kind of bring this in this bottom corner and stamp it. And excuse my dog if you can hear him barking. Apparently there is, it's probably the wind. The wind has had him going all day long. Because he's thinks something's out there. All right. So let me see if I can get this lined up and get this stamped. Ooh, this one's going to be hard to get straight because it's way up there. Yay! I always get so excited when it's straight. I think I'm finally learning to see it from the angle of not being right over the top of it. All right, and then we're just going to take this and make sure there's nothing here to make. I always worry about anytime I'm working with white, that always seems to be when I get ink where I don't want it, and then it ends up getting on my white pieces, right? And then this is going to go on the inside like so. Alrighty, and then we're just going to finish this up with, we're going to use the white faux sea glass this time. And I'm just going to pull, and I'm just going to stick them just in various places, maybe. We'll bring this one in a little bit, and then we'll do a smaller one. Did I get it? I got it. Up there. So what do you guys think of my little koala baby? Doesn't this set go with it so well? It's like, oh my gosh. And I'm already thinking of things I can do with the raccoon in this set and the panda bear. So there it is close up. Isn't it cute? I love my koala. And then there's the inside. All right, so let me just bring in the two cards that we made tonight, if I can find the one that I made. Oh, here it is. Is this it? Yeah. So these are the two that we made. So now let me show you two more that I did with this suite. So this one, what I did is, remember that designer series paper that I cut out? So instead of cutting it out, I just laid it on the front, and then I die cut these pieces and like put them on top. And then I did that with that flower in the middle. And so it just came out like this. And this is just a thank you card. All right. So again, this was just die cutting pieces and putting it on top of the already pretty designer series paper. So now this one, dun, da, da, this is using that vellum that comes with the suite. I hope you guys like it. So what I did was I stamped onto the back of the vellum with that big leaf set. And then I applied the vellum. I was able to put glue dots in because I had stamped on the vellum. And then I just adhered it to a piece of white. And then this is that mint macaron ribbon. This is the new, if you guys haven't seen this set, it's going to be your new favorite. If I can find it, it is. Oh my goodness. If I could put things back where they're supposed to be just one time, it would be nice. Oh my gosh, what did I do with that die set? Literally was just here. Okay, well, I don't know. but I believe it's like the Stitch Shapes or something like, it's not Stitch Shapes, that's the old name. Anyway, it's got circle, squares, and banners, and it's got the stitching. And then, of course, I put the faux glass, and then I kept it all kind of, this is all with soft succulent. So do you guys like that technique of stamping onto the back of the, can you see the vellum? Stamping onto the back of the vellum that has the word in it. All right, guys, so there is the 4 cards that I did tonight. Again, I used the Artfully Composed Suite because I used the Designer Series paper. I used the faux crystal. The only thing I did not use was that ribbon, but I used the vellum. I used everything from that suite tonight. So, but then I also brought in, right, come on, you just gotta love them. The Wild and Sweet stamp set to create this little koala card. Alrighty, guys, so I hope you enjoyed that. And I know it took a little longer than usual, but I did want to do 2 cards just to kind of show you the versatility of this Artfully Composed Suite. It's a beautiful suite. Sometimes we look at these suites that just has a lot of leaves, and even like the Designer Series paper that has like just the leaves and different colors that we don't normally put together, like Calypso Coral and, you know, putting that in with all of these greens. But when you start using your creativity, it's amazing what you can come up with. And I'm in love with this suite. I had not been able to use it, but of course then when I saw my Wild and Sweet koala bear, I just knew I had to put it on with these cards. So guys, thank you so much for being here. Don't forget, if you've ever thought about signing up with Stampin' Up! To be a demonstrator, we have a fantastic deal going on. Check out this Facebook page. It's in the feed. It talks about that. And then if any of you are interested in my paper share, but you haven't told me, I have 2 spots left for the paper share. And if you have questions on that, it is also on this feed. So just when you're done watching this video, go back and look at the post. There's one on the joining, and then there's one on the paper share. So anyway, guys, have a great evening. I will see everybody next Tuesday. Don't forget to check out my blog for these other cards that I didn't demonstrate. I will have the instructions on at some point. So keep looking for those. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. I always appreciate you giving me your time because I know time is precious. I know I have very little of it these days, but I appreciate all of you. I appreciate the business that you guys do with me. And yeah, guys, everybody have a great evening, a great rest of your week, and I'll be talking to you next Tuesday. Bye.